Hey, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the show. Um,
Okay, Sarah, can you hear us? Because Steve was singing like a couple seconds ago and you were missing it.
I was humming the TNG theme. I was
Yeah,
Jonathan
but
Frakes
before
style.
that,
When he got to the end of sometimes you can see bloopers sometimes from TNG when they would get to the end of like an intense take, and then Jonathan Frakes would take like a second, and then he would start in with da 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 da. So I was doing that. Anyway, okay, so Sarah in the chat has requested that I sing the Enterprise theme song, Faith of the Heart,
this will be a first for me because I don't know anything about that.
because you've never watched the show.
Right,
And are
exactly.
you a big Diane Warren fan? Because it was a Diane Warren song.
Nope.
Okay, well, then you've probably never heard of it. Okay, so here's the song for Sarah, who can't stay with us for the whole show tonight.
I think you should say, Sarah.
Apologies to Diane Warren and to everybody else. It's been a long road getting from there to here. It's been a long time, but my time is finally near, and I will see my dream come alive at last. I will touch the sky, and they're not gonna hold me down no more. No, they're not gonna change my mind, 'cause I've got faith of the heart. I'm going where my heart will take me. I've got faith to believe I can do anything. I've got strength of the soul, and no one's gonna bend or break me. I can reach any star. I've got faith. I've got faith. Faith of the heart. So there you go.
Look at that. Everyone loves it. That's awesome.
And David is just showing how much he really hates the TV version, saying that this is far more pleasant than the version on Enterprise. So
It's the beard, Steve. It's the
it's the
beard.
beard. I don't know if Russell Watson was bearded when he recorded that or not, but I'm glad people like it. And yeah, and if maybe
Oh, you're making Sarah swoop.
maybe after the episode, I can do the Perfect Strangers theme song.
I'm
Um,
just thinking.
because the
I
Perfect
mean,
Strangers
it's
theme song.
only 6:04. We've got
Gotta
five
leave him
minutes
wanting
here.
more. Gotta leave him wanting more.
I'm sure they'll come up with some others.
Chris Kringle, Shatner duet album when? That would be great. We'll see. And Jonathan says, "Does Jesse know you can sing it for real?"
She
No,
will in a minute.
well, yeah, if she watches this, well, because I did it for because I was a guest star in Jesse Gender's Christmas video last year, and there's a bit, and of course Jesse is like a huge mark for Enterprise, like she loves Star Trek Enterprise, and
She's a mark.
she's a huge Enterprise mark. I, of course, am a general purpose Scott Bakula mark, so um,
Scotty Backs.
Scotty Backs. But so I sang it for Jesse's Christmas video, and for that I was doing it in character as Dr. Racy, and he was kind of drunk during the events of the episode, so I was singing it as though I was Dr. Racy and as though I was just drunk out of my mind. So I was just belting it out at the top of my lungs, completely off key, not
Yeah, that's
making
what Jemshin says.
not making any effort to make it good at all. And I think it turned out great because it was supposed to be funny, and I thought it came out really funny. And I
I
think
hear.
and the bits of it that she used in the video I thought worked pretty well. So, but yeah, I made no attempt to sing it well, but this time I was trying to at least be somewhere in the ballpark of singing it well
See,
to the best of my ability. So,
we didn't. We stopped watching Leverage too soon.
oh, is there singing in Leverage?
There is.
Is
Oh my goodness, you have no idea. Say pitchy one more time. Say it.
oh my god, is there like an American Idol episode?
No, no. Oh my goodness. Oh, there. No.
Oh,
There's.
by the way, I'm thank you,
Oh.
Sarah. I'm glad that I could make you happy, and I'm sorry you have to leave us, but
Bye, Sarah. We
I'm
love
glad I
you
can send
too.
you off on a good note. Yeah.
Oh.
Um, And yeah, Kirok 2011, I agree with you. Quantum Leap is why I am a Scott Bakula mark. I mean, that's one of my favorite shows ever. I love Quantum Leap. I'll take, you know, I don't know. I don't know if that's a little. I don't know if I would say I would take the worst episode of Quantum Leap over the best episode of Enterprise
Ooh.
Because Enterprise does have some really good episodes, and Quantum Leap, especially early on, has some pretty rotten episodes. Like it takes Quantum Leap a little bit to kind of find its footing, but once it does, man, once it hits the sweet spot, it's like, damn, that's a good show. Uh, but I
Hey,
would.
Azalea Jane.
Hey, Azalea.
Caitlin. No, let's see. We got 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah, not 45 minutes from now. Yeah.
So who am I? What show and or actor or whatever am I? What did you say?
A mark.
A mark for? Yeah.
Oh boy, we could always say Shamar Moore, couldn't we?
Hey, he's just hot.
Oh, I know. No, this is easy.
Okay.
Tim Curry.
Oh yeah.
Tim Curry. You're a huge Tim Curry mark. Yeah.
But that's not my fault. He's just really good at everything he does.
I'll give you another one too, for you that you're a mark for.
I don't. Wait. Let me see it. Let me see if I can.
There's two for you that come to mind immediately, and one of them is Tim Curry, and the other one is whenever you want the up.
Yeah.
Queen Latifah.
Ah, yes, I knew it. I was like, okay. I was like, got it. Corey, I'm not. Although I am more of a mark for reading than I am for visual or audio media, because I can go at my own pace. Like, I guess they now have like programs that when you watch something sped up, they don't talk like this all, they don't sound like Alvin the Chipmunk anymore. They just go faster or slower, and they don't sound like they're drunk. But I like going at my own pace, and with like audio and visual media, you can't do that. Like, I'm just, I'll have times when I'm just like into something. I'm just grinding, not even grinding, just like blowing right through it. And then there'll be times like Concrete Rose, I've got in like the past several days, I've done 4 more pages. And I like the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
shouldn't we all be Tim Curry marks?
Exactly. It's not really being, but is it really being a mark? Like, he's just that good. Now I will, but yeah, there's a difference because Shamar Moore is more like early. Oh, blonde. No, not Paul Newman. Robert Redford.
Yeah.
I've had a crush on Robert Redford for like Tim Curry. I mean, when the first thing I saw him in was Clue, and I was just like, oh my goodness, he's so handsome. I wouldn't say that he's handsome now, but Robert Redford.
But Redford, yeah.
Damn.
As a Robert Redford lover, let me ask you this, because I've proposed this to other people and I've gotten mixed reactions. I am of the opinion that the older he gets, the more Brad Pitt resembles Robert Redford.
Yes. I thought you were going to go the other direction.
To the point where like they're becoming the same person. I feel like if you could just freeze Robert Redford where he's at now, and I guess he's like in his 70s or maybe even in his 80s, but just freeze Robert Redford.
Maybe Robert Redford aged backwards and became Brad Pitt.
That would be appropriate, wouldn't it?
They did a movie about that, didn't they?
They did, didn't they?
Awful luck. I'm gonna. It's trash, but it's such delight. Did we watch Taxi?
Yes, we did.
And Giselle Bündchen.
Yes.
And it wasn't Shamar Moore, but it was her boyfriend.
It was Henry Simmons. My guy, Henry Simmons. Yes, I love Henry Simmons. Yes.
A fine looking man.
A fine looking man. Absolutely.
And it's just it's it's got so many good lines. I'm really not much of a Jimmy Fallon fan, but It's got these great moments, and I think I got Daewoo on my hands, and and of course, like Queen Latifah, but she is not built like any bike messenger I've ever seen.
Yes, you said that when we watched it. You're like, since when is she's not a bike messenger?
Oh, Colm, yes. Except I happen Tim Curry trivia. He loves cheese balls, so it would be yellowish orange curry. It would be cheese ball flavored curry.
I like that. Calling on your vast reserves of Tim Curry knowledge.
I think that was in Tiger Beat.
There was an article about Tim Curry and Tiger Beat back when he was a Tiger Beat cover boy.
No, not but it was some little teeny bopper magazine like that, or 17 or something, and
Yeah.
they did just like snacks that stars liked, and this was a long time ago. Oh no, I've had a crush on Robert Redford since the second time I watched this thing.
Yeah, because
I
that's
don't
one of your
remember.
favorite movies. So, I mean, it
Oh
makes
yeah,
sense.
I don't remember the first time I watched it, so maybe I didn't have a crush on that. So I can't say for certain, but I know the second. I remember the second time I watched it. So I almost gave away the ending to my little brother. So my brothers were like, shh, shh, shh. I was like, what? And I almost blurted it out, like right in that big finale scene. And they're like, shh, hush. I'm like, okay. And I was just confused. And then I was like 30 seconds later, I was like, oh, okay. Because I'd completely forgotten. I still don't remember when I saw it first, but I was like, I knew. Oh my goodness. Oh, yep, yep.
255 AD. Are you relieved about
Yes.
California?
Oh, yes. Thank you, God.
Well, and honestly, it's like they had to raise all that money and spend all that money just so the Republicans could have another excuse to cry about imaginary voter fraud, because that's all it's going to turn into. I mean, there was never really, I don't know if there was ever a single poll the entire time that had Newsom losing that recall. It was purely a nuisance and an excuse to give them one more thing to say, see, it's rigged against us, you know? But yeah,
Like,
obviously, I'm very glad that he won.
because California is so now there are areas of California
It's
that
more
are
yeah, it's more Republican than I think people think because of
realized. They
its,
think,
yeah,
yeah,
but
because it's
it's,
it's big.
yeah, exactly.
Wait, what's her name? Just retired now. A Republican won't replace her.
Oh, you mean yeah, Senator, is it Senator Feinstein? I think yeah.
Oh, why? I'm
Well,
confused. Why should
because
she?
I guess because she's old and her perhaps her faculties are slipping. I'm not sure. I've heard that uh that was part of the that was part of the strategy behind the recall, was get a Republican governor in there, and then the Republic, and then find some way to force Feinstein out of her Senate seat so that the Republican governor of California could appoint the replacement and would appoint a Republican replacement, and then the Republicans would have a one vote majority in the Senate. But you know,
Yeah, but well, I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I think the Senate and the House of Representatives should have term limits anyway. So, I mean, in principle, like I'm all for replacing long-serving legislators who have been there for decades with people who are new, fresh faces. Like I'm, in principle, I'm completely in favor of that. But um, you know, it's kind of up to Dianne Feinstein and her people, and
Voters.
and the voters. Yeah, she was elected to a full term, and if she's able to serve that full term, you know
I mean, I don't know how old was Strom Thurmond.
Oh my God, he was in his 90s.
Yeah,
He served forever. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Well,
And to be fair
he's
on
just
the
not that much older than my folks, and
and to
they're like,
and
I mean,
they're still pretty sharp. Yeah.
they're still pretty sharp. I mean, they have trouble, seeing things sometimes. They have glasses, and I mean, my dad's hearing's always been. My mom doesn't have hearing aids, but my dad's like always been deaf in one ear.
Yeah.
As if he got drafted, and I don't remember if it was in basic training or before that, but the story is that when somebody came in, are you deaf? And he said, yes, sir. Or maybe it was only in that ear, sir. And they're like,
you asked.
He'd put it on all of his forms, and they still, nope, there you go. So
didn't you read the paperwork, sir?
No, that's not his department. Seth Werner von Braun.
Oh wow, he served under Werner von Braun?
No, but that was the song.
I know. By
Once the rockets go up, who cares when they come down? That's my department.
And I was going to say also, to be fair to the Democrats.
Look, Upper Lock, that's not that. I guarantee you that has nothing. Well, I can't guarantee you that has nothing to do with age, but forgetting things is not necessarily because you're old.
And I was just going to say to be fair to the Democrats, or to be like Robert Byrd, who was a Democrat, served for fucking forever too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he was up in, I don't know if he was, I'm pretty sure he was in either almost as old or older than Feinstein is now. When he, finally kicked the bucket. So.
Like, I mean, what the party needs to do is, have somebody or several somebodies, honestly, who are sort of, primed to step in and run against her in the primary.
Well, and the thing is, it's part of the reason why I'm so strongly in favor of term limits, because it's a little bit like regulating businesses, where like it would be great if the party would just do this on its own, but they've shown throughout history that they won't. I would love it if it was just a natural, normal thing that, people who served in the Senate, let's just use the Senate as an example. You serve, 2 or 3 terms in the Senate. Like if you serve 3 full terms in the Senate, that's 18 years. That's a pretty good run. You should step aside at that point. You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with age necessarily. It has to do with if you've been there for almost an entire generation, you should look back on your own career for yourself and say, you know what? It's time for me to step aside and let someone else take a run at this. And it would be nice if they just did that, because, I think bringing new blood into government and having the new generation be able to take over. And I think that's a good, healthy thing to have that churning, throughout the legislature, throughout the years. But history has shown that usually that's not how it works. Yeah. That's why you have people who serve in the legislature into their 70s and 80s, and in some cases 90s, and they've been there for 40 and 50 years and even longer, and it's just ridiculous.
And Caitlin and 255 AD, I think that's the case with a lot of older people as you get towards having less life ahead of you than you have behind you. People start thinking about their legacy, how not just their families, or their biological families at least, but how history will remember them. What mark they'll leave, especially politicians. I just, so yeah, I don't know. I am of 2 minds on term limits. I mean, I forget, I guess it was yesterday, people were, not up in arms exactly, but yapping about AOC's dress.
Oh yeah, at the Met Gala, yeah.
At the Met Gala.
It said tax the rich, which should not be a controversial position among Democrats at all, by the way. But
well, no, it's just, wearing something like that when you're going to the Met Gala,
right.
which is like, you've got, a designer dress, and you're going to this like lavish benefit.
Well, tax her. I'm sure she would pay her taxes too if they were jacked up. I mean, like
that's just something. I'm like, she's not saying don't tax me.
Tax the rich people except me.
Yeah, like I mean,
tax
she pays her taxes. She pays her taxes. I'm like, I don't see any disconnect here. But at any rate, people are saying that she's not a particularly because I don't know that I saw anybody who said, but the idea was that because she's as progressive as she is, I'm not going to say so progressive because I'm further.
It's not a competition, Dana.
But it's relative.
Let's not turn this.
It feels not exactly hypocritical for me to call her, so far left. When, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I'm,
let's not turn this into progression Olympics.
I'm trying to make my point.
Go ahead.
Anyway, the concern is that because she is so far left of other Democrats, that the things that she proposes don't happen, and she's ineffective as a legislator. And yeah, Corey, but it's still like a high roller type event anyway. And I'm just, the data that they were comparing her to other legislators in the last Congress.
Yeah.
I'm just like, is it really, because as they're pulling things up, it says, compared to others, she, has passed, fewer bills and sponsored fewer bills and da. I'm like, okay, I get that. But if you look over here in the data you're providing, compared to other freshman representatives, she's actually above average. She's not like way in the 90th percentile, but she was in like 60th to 70th percentile across the board. And I said, is that really fair? And they're like, well, if we're comparing her to active senators, we should be looking at everybody in the 116th. I'm just like, then why is there a difference? If we look at her rank compared to everybody and her rank compared to other freshman senators, what that tells us, what the differences in those two numbers tells us is that freshman senators overall tend to be less effective at getting things done than veteran legislators, representatives, and senators.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that experience does matter. So yeah. And winged worm, I think that's that is part of it. But at the same time, there is something to be said for making sure that the moderate stuff goes through, that
it's as moderate as it needs to be to pass. It's not like moderate for the sake of it. I feel like that's a problem that the Democrats have run into for my entire life, is that they'll moderate stuff even when they don't really necessarily have to.
Yeah.
Because they want to appear bipartisan, when it's like, look, if you can get something that's like radically to the left passed and enacted, do that. Mm-hmm. Like, don't drag it to the middle on your own because you think that looks better, or you think that's more quote unquote fair in a two-party system. Like, to hell with that. Pass the most progressive thing you can possibly get through there.
Yeah.
And if you do have to moderate it to get it through, that's fine. We live in that kind of a system where it's like, sometimes you have to compromise. That's fine. But don't compromise any more than you have to, Let's mention 255 AD's question, and then we'll watch the episode, which is, do you think really rich people should be allowed to hold public office?
Mm-hmm. I saw that.
Yeah. I don't think there should be any, bar to holding office based on how much wealth you personally have. I think it shouldn't make a difference. I certainly don't think that rich people or people above a certain threshold should be barred from holding public office. I do think that we should reform the system, and especially the campaign financing mechanisms, so that being personally wealthy is not as much of an advantage as it is
Mhm.
now. I don't think it's fair that you can have, that you can enter a race as a billionaire and just spend essentially an unlimited amount of your own money, you know, to outspend all your opponents. I feel like we should have mandatory public funding of elections where everybody gets access to the same dollar amount, and in terms of campaign spending, everybody's on a level playing field. I mean, you could still run into situations where maybe one candidate is just naturally more of a celebrity than the other, or attracts more attention from the media or whatever. I mean, you'll never have
Wrong.
it. It'll never be completely equal, but in terms of
Fair
campaign
isn't
spending, you
always
can
equal,
level the playing
Steve.
field. Oh, no, I agree. I agree.
255 AD. We can come back to this whenever Steve decides to say 3, 2, 1, pause. But my before I give an answer, what I'd like to know from you is how rich is really rich. So let's go ahead, like Azalea says, and
Yes.
watch some Star Trek.
Let's watch some Star Trek. Gosh darn it.
Gosh darn it. Okay, so do the thing.
Okay, are you? Is your Netflix ready to go? Do you need to reload
It
it or
is
anything?
ready to go.
You're ready to go. Okay, everybody get ready. I'm going to give us a countdown and we will start watching. It is episode 3 of season 2 of Deep Space Nine, The Siege. Here we go. In 3, wait a minute, let me get my timer up here. Okay. Sorry.
Are
I need to
you
make sure I was ready. I need
Because
to make sure I
people
was
are
ready.
waiting.
Okay, here we go. This is for real this time. In 3, 2, 1, play.
We are not skipping the recap, correct?
No, we do not yet. Watch the recap. We do not skip the recap.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They call themselves the Circle.
They didn't spend a lot of time on the name.
They're so extremist. They spray paint things. Woo!
And they choose as their symbol the least extreme shape. What's so extreme about a circle? Circles are nice. Glad you could join us, Incredible Blobfish. I'm excited that you're joining us for the first time live, too.
He's a symbol. Ooh, I got an idea. How about a circle? Sorry. Azalea, that's great. Now, Azalea, what does that stand for?
The man from Circle.
Because I am the government. Woo!
He's the man from Circle.
Dun, dun, dun!
Dun, dun, dun.
These people that we've never seen before.
They're there, okay? Trust him.
Mm-hmm. Ah!
You know what a stickler I am for the details. Ooh, the Bajorans. I'm so scared.
David C. Drake, like the Brotherhood. I don't know who they are either, and I don't really care. Charles Chapman. Oh, that's a bird. That is a
Homebody, exactly. Shame them into staying, Ben. Any of you
oh.
wimps and wussies who want to leave are free to go. You crying little babies, go ahead, run. Run for your filthy, pathetic lives. No judgment.
Wow. 6:30. Like
And,
seriously, it feels like I should be taking my meds and getting ready for bed.
well, we'll try to get through this in a hurry so we don't keep you up.
No, I'm just like it just feels weird today.
Well,
Like, I mean, I
don't.
was good. I was like burning at school. I mean, I knocked out like most of a new script,
Yeah, you did.
and I got a video shot and just, but I came home and sat down and talked a little bit and like, I think I want a nap. Like I didn't actually, like, sometimes I go home, like I would have to have a nap before the show. Make sure I stay awake on the way home. Stay awake, stay awake. Okay, nap. But like I was feeling fine. Sat down for a little bit at home and I'm like, nope, do nap. My alarm went off. And I'm like, it can't be that time yet. And I'm just
Are
like,
you
okay, make tea.
serious?
Oh. Homebody, good luck with your fasting. and may your
Yes.
experience be a blessing for you and to those around you.
Atonement and weight loss working together.
Like, but usually, yeah, the winter, it's not so much that, it's that like usually like I can kind of feel it. Steve, I don't know if I tell you that we heard about our schedule. Yeah, I must.
Yes,
I
you
bet
did.
I
You
did.
told me
Yeah.
earlier. Yeah.
So, oh gosh.
Yeah.
I'm so just so ready for this nonsense to be over. I'm just tired of not knowing what is going
Yeah.
on with my students.
Yeah. That's a Star Trek theme song I don't have to sing. Because there ain't no words.
Yeah, but you hummed the TNG one. You could
That's
hum this
true.
one too.
Da 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 da.
See, exactly.
It's easy.
Like me. Ah,
Whoa. Hello there.
hi.
I'm going to overbook the escape flights. Chris, that's right. The original series theme does have lyrics, and I know the lyrics. I'm just saying.
Because you're a nerd. You can't carry any latinum when you're dead.
But you can keep it in your casket. Can't you just go back to Earth?
there's all the oh.
No stupid French thing will either.
Oh,
I love you, man.
fair enough.
They still haven't rebuilt my school.
Oh, baloney. There's always a choice.
Because shut up, that's why. Hey, easy, Miles. Not in front of the kid. And yes, Jonathan, yeah, and someone else mentioned it too, yeah, that Roddenberry wrote lyrics just so he could get a co-songwriter credit, yeah.
It's Princess Leia.
Cross-franchise hairdo there.
With pizzas. Exactly, Snake Pit Cat. God, Valamis, I hope not. Please, I don't think I can.
I don't think we do. I don't think the school is seen again, but I'm not positive, but I don't think so.
Hey, I like Cardi. I mean,
Cardi B, right?
Yeah.
Well, Chris, I don't think we would want to know what O'Brien would say instead of Cardi's if we're not using made up words.
Scratch. I can take care of myself, sir.
Of course. Why do you even bother to ask?
Uh,
I mean, he always feels perfectly justified.
blah, de, blah, de, blah, de, blah. I did now, 255 AD. And now you're going to RUNNOFT?
You wimps!
Oh, wow.
What an easily led crowd. I love when mobs are easily led like this.
So convenient.
Before these Bajorans change their minds. Morn's getting the hell on that ship. He's like, I'm getting out of here. And died.
Yes, 250 ID. I saw that. Uh-oh. In case I die.
It's an in case I die letter. Look, you're old enough. I might as well just tell you. Wait until you know that I'm dead.
Now that your mom's dead and I'm dead too, and you're an orphan.
He had to pack.
Good for him. You should be proud.
Yeah, exactly.
Aren't you proud? The ship is gone. I do understand.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, you can.
It's not an ambiguous situation. The ship has just gone.
Ship.
They ain't coming.
I don't think they can hear me.
Sorry, they ain't coming. It's gold.
Nobody cares. Work.
Just let it play through this one because not a whole lot's happened yet.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's about time we Bajarans took control of this station. Oh, wait.
Oh, how we wish that were true, Caitlin.
In space, no one can hear you whine. You're right, guy from Wings.
Even if I were ordered to do so by my superior officers, I would have ignored their orders, just like this Federation commander did.
Sorry, 255 AD. You can try to resync with the time code on screen, and if not, you will. I'll pause at the next commercial break.
Ow.
It's like one of those spiders from the Horrors of Spider Island.
I was very good this morning. There was a spider in the shower. It wasn't there. And then as I was washing my hair, it dropped right beside my face. Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's.
Oh. And then we have one of those detachable shower heads that's on a nozzle, and I squirted that sucker and
you just washed it away.
Washed it down the drain because I knew that there had been a nightmare and I didn't want to wake people up and startle them. So
because you didn't,
I was very proud of myself.
And you didn't want to risk that it was a radioactive spider and it would bite you and give you the proportionate strength and speed of a spider.
No, I was too tired for that. That thought did not occur to me. It was like, must be quiet. Spider, you were in the wrong place. You have to die. Sorry.
It's wrong place, wrong time.
I'm fine with spiders, house spiders and that,
but not shower spiders.
Nope, that is not a place for spiders to be. No. You don't get to be there. Ants do not get to be in the flower. Spiders do not get to be in the shower.
Hey, it rhymes. You're a poet.
I am. I'm not afraid of the big spiders. I actually did watch Arachnophobia, and it was those little ones that you couldn't see and they bit you and you died. Those were the scary ones.
Yeah.
Great shower. I don't know. Can you really have a great shower? I'm a bath kind of person. Unfortunately, in the mornings, I usually don't have time.
Is there a such thing as a non-great shower? I mean, I guess if it's too hot or too cold, but I mean, as long as you get the water temperature right and it's got good pressure, like how can you have a non-great shower? It's a
You
shower.
can't really
It's
lounge in
inherently
the shower.
great.
You can't be a submerged. No, it's inherently not great. That's my point. You can't. You don't get the sense of buoyancy that you do from a bath. You
But with a
can't.
bath, you're just laying there. With a shower, you can
I
move
know you're just
around.
laying there. That's great. That's the whole. That is the purpose. Just
To just lay there.
He's got a very fancy ear cuff.
Oh, yes.
As is.
Or a space station in the general vicinity of Bajor.
Luck, that's not true. What you do is you drain the tub, refill it, scrub off, and then drain the tub again.
So you take a bath to clean up after the bath.
Yes.
Second bath.
Yay! Mm. Scratch, 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 scratch.
Jemshin, I don't think that's been established yet. I think eventually it's established that.
Somebody, man, we're like.
I think eventually it's established that when a changeling is a particular object, they scan as whatever that object is. But I don't think that's been established yet.
Valamis, they're so fluffy. They're so. Have you seen that? There used to be teeny tiny ones, and they would. I swear they were like they had holographic fur, so they were like shiny. Oh, they were so cute. Dun dun dun. Are we
Okay.
stopping?
3, 2, 1, pause. And I'm paused at 24:23 remaining. So let me put the time code up there for everybody to see. And if anybody needs to resync, they can resync to that. Yeah, 24:23.
Oh, this is not. Why are you being?
So that's where we're paused at. 24:23 remaining on Netflix. So if anybody needs to resync, just go ahead.
Oh, Vilcata. Sorry that you're only just stopping in, but thanks for stopping in.
Yes, absolutely.
Vilcata,
See, Vilcata,
that's you need to watch that so that then you can leave an episode. Oh boy, a comment not just telling Steve that he is wrong, but how he is wrong.
Yes, going into great laborious detail.
He likes that.
So what did you want to respond to 255 AD about the rich people not being allowed to hold office, and the proposed limit is net worth over 5 million.
No, I'm okay with them, attempting to hold office. But I do think there should be I'm with you on limiting campaign spending. And like you said, some people are naturally more charismatic than others, and they do the Trump thing of being like blah 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 blah. And the other thing is some people are already more well-known than others. So,
yes,
tis what tis. It's never going to be a completely equitable playing field because people are different. So.
Well, and it's like.
Oh, no. Oops, yeah. Good. Okay, I clicked the wrong thing. Sorry, I was trying to help.
I was, okay. Well, yeah, I think there are lots of problems with our electoral system as it currently exists that can be solved by ways, or if not solved completely, because you'll probably never solve these problems, but at least greatly reduce how harmful they are. through means other than just like saying certain people can't hold office. You know what I mean? I feel like that isn't generally the way to go, but like campaign finance reform, term limits, making it easier for minority parties to get on to have ballot access, like stuff
Hmm.
like that, making it easier for people, just making it easier for people to vote, removing all these anti-democratic voter suppression policies that
Yeah,
Republicans have put in
I want to.
place.
That's another one. Oh, there's so many things that I want to talk about on YouTube, but there are only so many hours in the day. That's another one. The voter suppression stuff. Because
Yeah.
like if you look into it, none of it's really a big deal. It's like adding a signature to vote by mail, but it's like one more little thing, and one more little
Yeah.
thing, and one more little thing,
And it's,
and none of it's a big thing. Like if you look back at the some of the literacy tests, holy heck,
yeah,
it's not a literacy test. It's a, are you a governmental scholar test? Geez, like
yeah.
you pass that test, you get an honorary doctorate from
It's,
like, I don't
it's,
know, Yale or something.
yeah.
Through Harvard. Go for
It,
Yale.
it reminds me of the episode of The Simpsons where Apu is taking the citizenship test, and he learns more about American history than like actual native born Americans do, and he's taking the test, and the proctor of the test is like asking him the questions, and he says, what was the cause of the American Civil War? And Apu launches into this long, like detailed answer about, the different economies of the North and the South, and the decades of tension leading up, blah blah. He's just really going into it, and finally the guy cuts him off and says, just say slavery.
So,
Yeah, Richard Edgemont, The Death of a Thousand Cuts Electoral Street. Exactly. Like the other thing that I was going to say, as far as like, it seems like, oh, just have them, make it a requirement that they sign their ballot, or make it a requirement that they show a government issued ID or whatever. Like none of those individual things seem all that onerous. But the problem I keep coming back to is these are all fixes to problems that do not exist.
yeah.
And I feel like that's got to be a position that Democrats and anybody who opposes these kinds of laws has to come back to again and again. There's no reason to do this. We have like, the electoral fraud of the kind that these laws are meant to prevent. It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
This is like the justification is completely specious. It doesn't.
Hmm.
We don't need these reforms to have safer, fairer elections. We have those already.
Yeah. This doesn't actually accomplish what it's
Yeah,
purporting to accomplish.
yeah. Which makes me
So
wonder, what does it actually do? What is it actually
what
meant to do?
yeah.
And obviously the observed effect is that it disproportionately affects members of minorities and people living on low incomes,
Hmm.
and suppresses votes in those groups, which tend to vote more for left leaning candidates than for right leaning candidates. And gee, I wonder if that could be the reason they're doing it. I mean,
Yeah. Well, yeah, winged worm. I would think the long lines are more of an issue than the not getting water, because if the lines weren't
yeah,
an issue, the getting water
the
wouldn't be an
water
issue
wouldn't be a
either.
problem. Yeah.
Because I mean that also makes, especially with um your low income voters, because like you have to have time off from your job to vote. Like they have to allow you at least, I think, 3 hours during the day. If you have a shift that does not allow you a 3 hour window, they have to give you 3 hours off. Here in some places, it has to be paid. Not in my state. But the other thing is, if you've got more than one job, each job only has to give you the window, and they don't, like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you might end up with two shifts on that don't give you a window between them, but each job is officially doing what it's supposed to do. Anyway,
Yeah.
there's just
And 255 AD, I didn't know that about one of the Simpsons writers had a friend who that actually had happened to. But that's really interesting. Um, So, if we can talk about the episode for a minute before we jump back into
Sure.
it. So, we are sort of paused at a point where the Bajorans have the Bajoran military, or the direct sort of troops from the Bajoran provisional government, who have temporarily turned heel in the show, have taken control of the station, and the good guys, our people, the Starfleet crew, and the Bajorans who are loyal to them, are hiding in the ceiling, like
In the
the
ducts,
in the ducts,
as one does.
like the protagonists in the original Dawn of the Dead, when the biker gang comes in and takes over the mall. And the good guys are like hanging up in the ceiling watching, and then the one guy is like, "Oh, hey, Sarah's back," uh,
Yay!
and then the one guy's like, "It's ours, we took it," and then he starts like throwing Molotov cocktails at him. So I'm kind of hoping that we'll see, Chief O'Brien chuck some Molotov cocktails. Although, having seen the episode already, I don't think that's going to happen, but it would be nice. Yeah, Nick, that's scary. Yes, there are people who think like Michael Worley unironically. One of the challenges of writing Michael Worley was always to make it clear that it's satire. And part of the way I did that was to make him to not just give him conservative political beliefs or conservative religious beliefs, but also to make him like the most credulous dipshit I possibly could, where he basically believes every conspiracy theory. And I mean, and there are people who think pretty close to that too. Like, even that is not quite like, it's difficult to write a character like that and to make it obvious that it's satire without tipping over into just an outright cartoon, which I didn't want to do. But I mean, sometimes you have to get very close because the
You have
people that
to. You have to. You have to walk the line.
you do. When satire's fine, it walks the line.
Steve, you're even wearing black.
I am actually. Can I shout out my T-shirt? This is probably the nerdiest T-shirt I've ever worn. The image on this T-shirt, it's a Star
Can't
Trek
really see
T-shirt.
it. It's your mic's in the way.
There you go. It's a Star Trek T-shirt, and that's the Enterprise there, the classic TOS Enterprise, and it's in like a star field with planets and stuff. But the image is actually from the classic Star Trek string art kit,
Oh
which
my
was
god.
which was a thing in the 70s that
Uh-huh.
it's not available anymore unless you find one at like on eBay or something. But it was a string art kit, and when you put it together, it would make this image of the Enterprise sort of flying through space and shooting. There's like Romulan ships that it's shooting with its phasers and stuff. So this is just an image of that scene that I saved
Wow.
and ordered as a T-shirt. And so yeah, but
You
because
are
I
such a nerd. You are such. That is. I am
so
impressed at
it's
that
the
level of nerdiness.
Thank you. It's I just got it a couple weeks ago. This is the first time I've worn it, and it's one of my favorite shirts now because it's like such a nerdy fucking Star Trek shirt. Like,
Yeah.
even I feel like
Even for me.
if I wore it to a convention, other Star Trek fans would like have just instinctively try to beat me up because they'd be like, "Oh God, nerd," because it's super nerdy. Um,
Super nerdy.
So yeah, and 255 AD has a question of how do you feel about Starfleet being, well, we don't like your politics, so we're just going to occupy your territory. Is that what Starfleet's doing?
I. I. It was it their territory. Spaces makes it kind of hinky. I just. I don't.
I'm not sure. I don't know if is that what I don't think that's what they're doing in this episode. If anything, they're doing the opposite because
Well,
they
no. I think he meant originally.
originally.
Um. Just. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, I do think there is an article or an
I don't know
article.
enough about it to.
There is an argument. Well, first, in terms of because Deep Space Nine is a Bajoran station, but the originally Starfleet is there at the invitation of the Bajoran government. And when in this episode, when the Bajoran government tells them to get lost, they leave. Now, Cisco intentionally drags his feet and doesn't leave completely because he happens to know that the Bajoran government is being manipulated by the
Yeah, that.
Cardassians. So there's sort of mitigating circumstances there. But in general, I think we've seen throughout Star Trek that Starfleet, if Starfleet is somewhere and then the people who are from there say get lost, Starfleet usually fucks off. They're like, all right, fine, we'll leave. Even if it means a bunch of people will die. Like that. They
Yeah,
only they only break the prime directive if it makes for an interesting story. You know.
yeah. If the writers decide it.
Yeah, exactly. But but I mean, there is, yeah, and Echo CT mentions. I was just going to say there is definitely an argument to be made that regardless of what I just said, that Starfleet and beyond that, the Federation is imperialist in some ways. Even though they're always portrayed as a very, well, not always, but often, more often than not, they're portrayed
Mm-hmm.
as a more benign institution. I mean, in some more recent iterations of Star Trek, and actually in Deep Space Nine, after we get to a certain point, I mean, the Federation and Starfleet are portrayed with a little more nuance, and it is depicted that actually they're not these perfect enlightened institutions, and they do occasionally do morally questionable things. Um, so I mean, you can definitely make a case for the Federation and Starfleet carrying out its policies as being imperialist. But I don't know if it applies in this episode.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Y'all can talk.
Well, I mean,
I
yeah,
don't
but
know. I mean, like, people are saying stuff, the Federation is certainly expansionist. I'm like, I mean, they're explorationist? Is
yeah,
that,
they're
you know,
explorationist.
they like explore, but it's not necessarily that, they like colonize. I don't, but maybe they
Yeah,
do. I don't know.
they
I don't
don't.
know.
They don't colonize in the sense that we have it in our history. Where I don't think there are instances, at least none that I can think of like Starfleet showing up on an already inhabited planet and saying, "Okay, we're moving in, we're taking over," like which is how colonization works on Earth throughout history.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we don't really have instances that I can recall of the Federation doing that. Um, but yeah, when the people saying that they're expansionists, yeah, they definitely are expansionists. I mean, they do explore strange new worlds, and they do establish settlements and colonies on uninhabited planets that they consider suitable. But they don't, as far as I know, they don't displace people or impose their authority in places where it's not wanted.
Yeah, it's Chris Kringle. You say they're constantly trying to get people to join them. I don't know. I mean, like, I think that's, offering an invitation is not necessarily the same as like evangelizing. And again, don't know, don't really know. I mean, saying, hey, this is who we are, and you're welcome to join us if you like. Doesn't seem like you're really, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
It's not, but because it feels like to say, okay, so this is who we are. You can't be part of us. I mean, that seems also,
yeah.
kind of objectionable.
Yeah, and
Um,
Lupus Regina mentions it, and Richard Edgeman mentions it earlier too, about the Maquis. Yeah, that's probably the best example of the Federation acting imperialist or acting in a very unethical way toward colonists or toward its own people, where the Maquis are created because Starfleet or the Federation, I should say, the Federation basically gives away planets to a hostile power, planets that have people living on them that don't want to live under the authority of this hostile power, because as a part of a peace treaty. Um, so that and the some of those people say, well, we're not going to stand for this, and they form an armed resistance, which becomes the Maquis. And yeah, that's, I don't even know if you can't even really. I mean, you could say that it's morally ambiguous, because you could say, well, we don't know the political realities, et cetera, et cetera. But I mean, it's pretty clear cut. Like, they gave away people's homes to the enemy without even without even giving them like a seat at the table. And it's like, oh, by the way, you can't live here anymore. We gave your planet away to those guys we were just fighting a war with. Pack your shit and get out. It's like that's not such a great thing. That's
Yeah. Was that one of the ones we watched?
no, we haven't gotten there yet.
Okay. Yeah, because I
We haven't gotten there yet. That's when it starts to get really good.
okay.
But anyway, speaking of which, shall we get back into this episode?
Uh-huh.
Let's do it. All right, everybody get ready. We're going to dive back into this episode. I'll count us in from 3 and we'll continue with the siege. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, play.
Foosh. You got it, dude.
You're welcome.
What can I say?
Oh, it's like the Millennium Falcon. If something doesn't work, you just smack it.
No, no, no.
I want something to go wrong so Kira can go, it's not my fault.
Yes, I do.
Unlike you.
Mark, maybe Kira just hasn't been listening. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, somebody should go look and say, I'll be right back. Do, 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 do. Expository dialogue, my favorite thing ever.
I don't see what the problem is. It's literally a cookie that feeds you for 3 days. What is wrong with that?
You have to eat the cookie slowly. That's obviously a problem. Caitlin L, yes, but it depends on the protein bar. Oh man, the Aldi has like these peanut honey ones. Those are nice.
Thanks for dropping in again, Sarah. We'll see you later, hopefully.
Hearts. Closest to you? Aren't they all just like right there?
No, they're in different locations.
Oh, I mean, seriously, I thought they were all like smushed in together.
255 AD, they're out of uniform because they're not officially representing Starfleet. It's like when a cop throws away their badge.
See, I swear they're like, okay. They probably have them at cons. Unofficial ones.
I'm sure. Now, how'd they have time to get into barrels?
Dun, dun, dun!
Winged worm, exactly. Like, did they just send some people into barrels because they were expecting the Bajarans to come by?
I think this is supposed to be witty banter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Let it play. Homebody. Kira can drive stick shift. Dax is a wuss.
There's nothing worse than a wuss.
They haven't de-wussified Dax yet, but that's coming.
Pew, 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 pew.
Charles Chapman, that's the other show. They don't do that on this show.
They have non-polarized hull plating.
Or maybe it's just polarized all the time and they don't have to polarize it. I don't know.
Ah. Fighty, 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 fighty. Fighty, fighty.
How do you ever miss anybody with a phaser that shoots a solid beam? Just wave it around until you hit them. Yeah. Blue Petronica, I think Garrick was probably on one of them ships and when everybody got the hell off of the station.
Look around you. Can you form some sort of rudimentary lathe? Oh, maybe they should cross the streams.
There you go. Oh, yeah.
You said
crossing the streams was bad.
I'm sorry, I don't find the fighty fighty interesting at all. I don't. This is
Karash, because if they all did that, then there wouldn't be any fight. There wouldn't be any action scenes. If they remembered that they could just set the phaser on like a wide field and just knock everybody out all at once. I love how Odo takes the time to actually form a plausible object as a tripwire instead of just having his tentacles stick out. Like, what difference does it make?
like grab them.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Maybe like. Oh, blah, 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 blah.
Every time Dak says we're in trouble, Kira always comes right back with, "No, we're not."
See, that's what they did before when they were in space. Like they wiggled around. I'm like, why are you wiggling? You're in space. You can just change direction and it doesn't matter. Kaboom.
It's been a long time since I've killed. Felt good. Oh, yeah, that was satisfying.
There it is. Why did you... Don't ask that. Why would you ask that? Oh, mashed potato. Mashed potato. Mashed potato. What happens at 11 o'clock? 12, 11, 10, 11 o'clock. Fire! See? Last crusade. But my hair is really shiny. I'm just really liking it. I just have to wait like a day and a half after I wash it, and it looks good.
The natural oils must replenish themselves.
I know.
A hollow suite, eh? Well, now they'll have to deal with Steven Weber. Now, how dumb does this guy have to be? They're in a
As
hollow suite. Like,
as dumb as the plot requires.
thank you, Kemp. Oh, come on. That always works and one of the main characters does it. I love how he goes for it. Winged worm, exactly. If it was Tim Daly, now they could have trusted him. Just let it play.
You only need one messenger. The nice thing is they didn't kill the others. That's how you know they're the good guys.
Exactly.
Why aren't they kissing?
Now you sound like a real Star Trek fan, baby.
I mean, come on. Look at this. Oh, gosh. You have to. Oh, come on.
Oh, yeah, Kurosh, exactly. They beam out the one guy who won't pass the message. They choose the biggest
Also,
jerk in the.
didn't she get fired? She hasn't been her commanding officer for like 2 days.
Well, but there's still a pre-existing arrangement, you know.
Oh, they have an arrangement.
They have an understanding.
Oh, yeah, the 90s. This was before lesbians existed.
Exactly, Dana.
Up a level, down a level. A snippet cat. or road where we're going, we don't need road. Sappho had lots of friends.
Yes, indeed.
With a very special message, Lucas Regina. They were fellow officers, and there was only one bed. Like, seriously, y'all are like, we're hitting all the fanfic prompts one after another.
Oh, totally.
They were in the prime timeline.
Yeah, get it?
I'm like, yeah, okay.
We let her
Why
borrow some
can't
of
I
our
be
clothes.
there?
Yeah. Oh, you caught me in your strong, manly arms. I'm so hetero right now.
Temporarily hetero.
Temporarily hetero.
Wait.
Well, that's not a very good system. You look really good in this. He's taking his money.
Those are my personal mementos.
Yeah, like I said.
And my family album. Pinch his ear, pinch his ear, pinch his ear.
Get out here, you motherfucker.
We're in position. Funny, funny, funny.
I'm not leaving it behind.
Winged worm that wouldn't be nearly as funny.
Yeah. Lock all the lockables.
Oh, oh, oh.
Oh, good. Who's resisting? Winged Worm, the Ferengi would definitely have gotten heavy into crypto. My God, yes. Any kind of scam to get money, they would have. The Ferengi would have been all over that.
Oh, 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 I bet leggings. They I bet they dealt in Lularose. Why are you holding out to him?
Yeah, don't give it to him. Here's the evidence of your guilt. I'm just gonna go over here. Oh, that. No, may the circle be unbroken. Thank you. I'll be returning to the Great Northern now.
Saw that coming.
Boy, he really did not want to have to guest star on another episode. He's like, no, just please. I'll do 3, that's it. It's okay. We tried, but my character never really clicked. Yeah, exactly. Back to Twin Peaks I go. Although that was over by this point, but hey, you know, you can always dream. Actually, he came back in The Return a couple years ago. I meant O'Brien. May I be excused? I need to go to the bathroom.
You just did. Ah! He was just a man.
So fuck you. And life returns to normal.
And she has her stuff in the pillowcase.
There we have it. End of episode. So what'd you think of that? You seemed like you were fading a little there at the end.
I'm kind of interested in villain dude. Like, he just sort I was like expecting him to, like, you know, are you in an OFT? He's like, I was fully intending to cooperate. And that, okay.
Yeah, you expect him to, like, he's going to make a run for it or something, or he'll get arrested.
Yeah, and like, yeah, and then that was it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Okay, are they just like keeping him around to like get like, you know, make another power grab later or something? I don't know, but that was kind of that was the only thing that I didn't expect, and I didn't expect it because it wasn't well written.
It's a weird thread to leave dangling when yeah. What
Um,
it seems like they could have easily come up with, like, even just having him, make a run for it, like, would have,
it's
at least it would have established, like, oh, okay, he knows that he's been caught, and you know what I mean?
what does him not like him just sort of getting like dropped? What does that thread what does that have to do with heterodactuality? I don't. That's not. I don't know. Maybe that's
Obligatory heterodactuality.
that was him running away. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's never really.
Or like
Yeah, Jemshin, maybe. Yeah, he turns the corner and gets beamed away.
I don't. Yeah, that was just. And then yeah, everything just kind of goes back to the way it was. The heroic character, I was like, yeah, he's he's gonna bite it at the end. He's gonna die.
Yeah.
Actually, blah 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 blah. Like doing what he was famous for doing.
Right, but never actually did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of see that coming. And also, I mean,
yeah, he's introduced as, I mean, they hadn't, I guess, I don't know. I wasn't anticipating that they were going to introduce this major new character.
Right.
Which, if they had done.
Yeah. Well, not a major new character who is taking the job of one of the most important characters in the show. Like, you kind of,
that took the job, but then, I mean, when they get rid of the circle,
right,
pull him in, for use on Bajor in some way,
right,
and give Kira her post back, but have him be a major player down on the ground. Of course, they didn't want to do too much on the groundy type stuff, so.
Yeah. Caitlin has a good point that it's we have to put this back in the box, which, TNG did as well. The thing about Deep Space Nine is that eventually Deep Space Nine
overall is nice for now, because I just brain can't. I can't do it.
It's not necessarily the worst way to tell stories in a series. Deep Space Nine does eventually stop doing that as much, but also the other thing is, the one thing that Deep Space Nine does better than any other Trek series up to this point, and even in the 90s, like, even a lot of other non-Trek series were doing at this point, which, even though the plot Hi, Sarah. Even though the plot usually gets reset to where it was before the episode started, the characterization sticks.
Yeah.
So, like, especially with the characters who become the more dynamic characters, like Nog, or Rom, when Rom starts to get his character development going a little bit, or Garrick. Even if the plots get reset and everything's back to normal by the next episode, the character stuff sticks, and that happened a little teensy tiny bit on TNG, but not very much. But Deep Space Nine was really good at saying, the events of these episodes really happened in the lives of these characters, and they were affected by them, and that is carried forward.
So yeah, I wish it wasn't a put things back. I guess I don't know. I like I guess that's possibly why I tend to prefer slice of life type episodes.
Yeah.
But like, if they're going to do something, major, then you shouldn't be able to just put things back in the box. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like, do one or do the other, but don't try to do the other and then just be like, oh, and just like, yeah, it feels.
I agree.
That's why I was like, fighty. We know what's going to happen. Can we just like not? The fights aren't well choreographed. They're just, shooting beams of light that aren't there at each other. And then like jumping. Like, this isn't interesting at all.
That problem you're describing is one of my major problems with the Star Trek series that came after this, which was Star Trek Voyager, which was so bland and so flat. And then every once in a while they would do an episode where something really big and important happened.
Yeah.
But then you knew by the end they were going to hit the reset button and it wasn't going to matter the next week.
But
And that actually made it worse. The fact that they
Yeah,
would occasionally have this really inspired episode where it's like, oh man, this is like some deep shit happening here. And then but next week it's like it never
it didn't
happened.
matter. Yeah.
Yeah.
255 AD earlier asked, "Does the same point today? The idea that you can stop corrupt political leaders just by proving they're lying." That's not what happened. Like, it wasn't just that he was lying; it's that he was making a deal
Yes.
with their
with an enemy.
It was what the lie was that mattered. It wasn't just, oh, he's a liar.
It's not it's not just he's a liar. It's the president of Israel is conspiring with the Nazis. Like, it's that kind of thing. Like, the Bajorans are in league with the Cardassians. Like, that's a pretty big deal if you're a Bajoran, especially.
255 AD and no. The point is, history isn't about, somebody's personality or their quirks or something like that. What Cisco was saying is, like, these are the things that he did. He believed in his people. He fought for his people. He died trying to make sure that his people were safe. Like, that's actually what he did. Yeah. Whether that was his intent or whether it worked out exactly the way people thought that it did, whether he was as courageous, like, intrinsically as people believe, let's just, if we look just at what happened, then yes, his actions were heroic. Just, whether he felt courageous about it, that's a feeling. That is not a fact. That doesn't go in the history books.
Yeah. And he is, he's an inspiration to an oppressed people.
Yeah.
And it's not that he was actually
He's like Jane Cobb.
and it's not like, with the thing with Lee Nolens is, it's not like he's actually a bad person. If he was actually like a bastard who had been
Jane Cobb,
like Jane, who had been glorified, then I think we're in a different situation. But he was a guy who, up until his heroic sacrifice at the end, like, he had the thing he was most famous for, he didn't actually do.
Well, he did kill the dude, didn't he?
But it was like, he did kill him, but it wasn't like, I wrestled him to the ground and blah, blah, blah. It was like, it was a much different situation.
Yeah.
And
that story had sort of spiraled out of control.
It grew, it sort of took on a life of its own, but it's not like he was actually a bad guy who was celebrated as a good guy. He just wasn't a hero in the sense that a lot of people thought he was, but he had been an inspiration to people who needed it, to people who were, being brutalized. So in situations like that, it's hard for me to argue with, to say, well, but it's not the truth. It's not what really happened. Sometimes it's more complex than that. And would you really want to deprive people of an idol that they really need, in that kind of a situation?
255 AD, people's motives and character people are not always the ultimate authority on their own motives and their character. Their actions, yes, it should absolutely be concerned with people's motives and character. And their actions are a great way to determine that. Probably better than what they say about themselves. Sorry. No, actually, I'm not. Not sorry at all. Yeah, go with action. Actually, if you watch my video on characterization, I say that. Start with what they do. You can tell what kind of person somebody is by what they do. Second, by what they say. So...
I just want to shout out Snakebit Cat for throwing in another beautiful Johnny Cash reference, because
I just saw that.
It's gone from being a circle that was unbroken to a ring of fire.
A ring. Because I ain't gonna be able to hit those. No, you have to go.
Oh. The ring of fire.
No, the ring of
fire.
There you go. See, I can't hit that because it's low.
I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, and the flames went higher. And it burns. The ring of fire. The ring of fire.
I ain't gonna be
that's like a croak. That's like, you gotta croak that shit.
Yeah, but he tried to lead them, but it wasn't like he tried to lead them when they were like in an immediate pinch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
He tried to rise to the occasion. I mean, ultimately he did, you know. And
oh yeah, Perfect Strangers.
oh God.
Go.
Okay. Does do okay. Okay. I'll sing the
I
perfect.
remembered something, you guys,
I'll
without being reminded. I'm just like, oh man, this is great.
I'll sing the
I
perfect
feel
stranger.
good.
I'll sing the perfect strangers theme, and then we'll wrap it up because we're getting close to the end anyway. And I know you're.
You got your you. Hey,
I
I
got
just remembered something. I'm great.
I got wrestling at 8,
You
so
got
we gotta,
wrestling.
and you're ready to take your meds and go to bed. So,
Uh-huh.
okay.
I'll
Okay,
have
so
to
this
get
is the
some.
perfect strangers theme, which I think will be a nice bookend because we start with the Enterprise theme and we end with the perfect strangers theme.
So y'all need to think about what we're gonna have Steve or
Yeah.
we're gonna have Steve sing next week.
Which and by the way, perfect strangers theme is the superior theme.
Oh.
I say that with all the love in the world as a Star Trek fan. The perfect strangers theme is
We'll go.
way better than the Enterprise theme. Anyway, okay. Sometimes the world looks perfect, nothing to rearrange. Sometimes you just get a feeling like you need some kind of change. No matter what the odds are this time, nothing's gonna stand in my way. This flame in my heart, like a long lost friend, gives every dark street a light at the end. Standing tall on the wings of my dreams, rise
Rise
and
and
fall
fall.
on the wings of my dreams. The rain and thunder, the wind and haze, I'm bound for better days. It's my life and my dream, and nothing's gonna stop me now.
Now.
Da 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 da. Oh yes.
So,
What
if this YouTube gig doesn't work out, you could get a job as a lounge singer.
you take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have.
The facts of life. The facts of life.
Yeah. I
Dying
don't.
fighting is the easy way out. Well, apparently Lee knows that. So he's like, man, he's like, somebody's got a blaster. No, wait, Star Trek, Star Wars, got them
Yeah.
switched. What are they called? Phaser.
Phasers.
Like somebody's got their phaser. Woo!
I'm getting out of here.
All right. Worm wants you to write
A perfect
crossfit.
strangers. I actually that was in my video for my proposal for a canon proof Star Trek show. I wanted to bring perfect strangers into it, but it would be the perfect strangers characters would be descendants of Larry and Balky, not literally Larry and Balky. But we could do time travel. I mean, that show got pretty weird.
Yeah, we could incorporate them.
Yeah, it could be like there's like a magic wishing well on Mypos, and they fall into it, and it plunges them
I was
forward in
just
time.
thinking that we could go pick them up using Tina's ship.
Yes, we Ensign's along it, baby.
Hey Jason. All right.
Okay.
So the
Charity links.
Yes, I'm like patron links. No, that's
Yeah. Don't forget the charity links, charitylinks.page. It's linked in the description of this very video you are watching right now. And it will take you to a document where you'll find crowdfunding sites and PayPal links and legal defense funds and other things for some friends of ours who need a helping hand. So if you have a few bucks to spare and you want to help out some people who need a bit of help, there you go.
Helping is good.
Helping is good, and we would all really, really appreciate it. Also, don't forget that Dana has a YouTube channel of her very own where you can go watch her videos.
Guys, I just did my first not well, none of my videos are really serious, but like my first video, well, none of them are about anything. Some of them are about important things, but it's my first video about like a show type thing, like a fan type thing, and it's called "Why Maleficent is the Best Villain Ever." Maybe I just said the best Disney villain ever. But she's up there, and she's just really cool. And so I'm really excited about doing something a little bit different. And it was a lot of fun to do because, like, dragons. Anyway, also, like, subscribe, all that stuff, but mostly leave me comments. Sarah, I'm planning to say something back to you, but like I napped today because I came home and I was all of a sudden really tired. So I haven't sent back stuff, and I have stuff to tell you. Oh my goodness, do I have stuff to tell you? So, and oh yeah, and Steve, you've got Ask Away coming up. So if
Yes,
you're a
on
patron,
Friday.
y'all need to send in your questions so that he can answer them. Otherwise, it'll just be the stream of him talking. God, that's
And who wants
boring.
that? That's going to be boring. Yeah. Yeah. So if you're a patron or a channel member, the link to the form to submit questions is up in the on the patrons only and members only sections. So yeah, if you're a patron or a member and you haven't sent in your question for Friday yet, you have till Friday to do that. And if you are not a patron or a member and you would like to ask a question beforehand for Ask Away, or if you just want to support this channel and help me continue to do what I'm doing, you can either become a channel member by clicking the join button on this page, right, that you're watching this video on right now, or going to patreon.com/Steve Shives and becoming a patron that way. Either way helps me out a lot. And I could not do this without my patrons and my members. So I appreciate all of you. And if you dig the videos, consider becoming a member or a patron. And yeah, I believe that's it.
Sarah, if you're not sure about Perfect Strangers and you're a patron, you should send that in as your question.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's only the best show ever.
All right. I'm going to take my medicine and I'm going to go to bed.
All righty. And I'm going to
sleep.
I'm going to watch wrestling. So, all right.
So fine.
So yeah,
thanks everybody.
We'll be back next week to watch episode 4 of Hilda. Yes, episode 4 of Hilda. And I'm doing the 4 Horsemen sign because I'm going to go watch wrestling. And also it'll be episode 4 of Hilda. So, or episode 4 of Hilda. Yeah. Yeah.
One of those things.
One of those things. Anyway, so yeah. Bye everybody. Have a good night.
Thanks for coming.